Right, well, here in the semi-disaster department, I think the truth is that they're not cooked, and I think we need wider, not quite so deep rings, because the bottoms are certainly cooked, but they're not cooked through. And actually, I must admit, the proof of the pudding will be in, or the proof of the crumpet will be in whether they taste as good as or better than the market leader, which in the UK is, I believe, Warburton's. Anyway, this is ghastly beyond belief, so we'll see what happens. Well, the bits of spilt stuff, here's one, taste all right, though they don't taste like crumpets. So we're going to see, but bearing in mind that Warburton's alone apparently produce somewhere in the region of 36,000 a year. No, an hour. It may well be that my pathetic attempts are not terribly good. Anyway, I think you need to let the top set, and then, so I think we have to just carry on cooking until the top sets. So the first two are on the way, as you can see. Yeah, that one at least is more bready, so I don't think Delia's recipe is really good enough. No, I think you need the bicarb. But it's interesting all the same. I mean, that's certainly cooked top and bottom. Now, the only problem is also these are now so small that I don't think they'll fit into the toaster. Right, I think that one's almost ready. That one isn't. Right, we're going to try that one. So here we go. Here's number 3, which the top is clearly uncooked, but the bottom is clearly cooked to the point of not quite but nearly being burnt. These are, I reckon, done as much as they're going to be, and this little baby here is going to have to be turned over regardless, simply because it's going to burn otherwise. In fact, it already is, it's too hot. There we go, man who burnt the cake. Right, alright, good. What we need next is a metal tray, so we'll have that one out. They don't look at all like any crumpet I've ever had, and haven't developed the holes. So I think, Delia, your recipe is incomplete. So we're going to have to do another one. Having said that, we're going to try a drop one. Maybe these are pikelets. Don't know. Ah, right. I'll wait a moment and do the last one. Cooked. Quite heavy actually. And here are the two that are remaining to be cooked. And I have to say it tastes nice, but it doesn't taste like a crumpet. And it doesn't have the holes in it, which crumpets should have. But other than that, bit of a mistake really. Ouch. No, still there. No, these are too cakey. There's no... Right, I think, Delia, we will write you off and try another recipe. The other thing I'm going to do in a minute, though, with the rest of the mixture, is just to try dropping stuff in. I think that might cook better. I've just ladled some mixture straight into the pan. So I'm just going to cook these through and see how they look. Now, I did think it was a bit salty before, but that's because I used salted butter down on the frying pan rather than unsalted, so can't blame the recipe for that. Even so, anyway, it looks nice. They look great. There we go. Yum, yum, yum. Okay, well let's flip them over. And I have to say they look much better and they cooked hugely quicker. This was only about a minute or two. So we'll see. Yum, yum, yum. And that's with a mixture of unsalted butter with a little bit of olive oil. Okie dokie, coming up to the denouement. So there we got 2 wide drop things, which are more like thick, weird pancakes. 4 things which really are not very successful at all. And a pan which I'm using up the last of the mixture, which is in here. All to the strains of Wagner's Tannhäuser. So, well, it'll be interesting. The advantage of these drop ones is that they're wide and flat, so they can be toasted. So that will mean much better in my view. Anyway, we will see. Okay, well here's the last of the the drop scones, which looks pretty nice. And here is a trivet full of drop and ring ones, all of which look nice. The taste is all right, but it doesn't taste very crumpety and the texture's wrong. And I think that's because Delia's recipe had no bicarb of salt and soda in it. I followed it just because I thought she'd be right. So we're going to test these probably at tea time, and a couple of the drop ones toasted, and we'll see how we go. So the report will continue a little later. Okay, so here we are a couple of hours later. It's now 3:45 in the afternoon, and I've just taken one of the crumpet things, given it a toast and a half actually, and put some Lurpak semi-salted and some Co-op jam, and we're going to taste it. Well, it's sort of light and pleasant, but it doesn't really taste much like a crumpet. Not really. Got a slight rubbiness. I think it's almost certainly going to be the bicarb that's going to do it. Anyway, it's nice enough to eat, so that's all right. So, would I bother to make them again? Probably not, but the drop ones are more fun than the other. Okay, signing off now.